Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to the shop. It is May 4th, and today we got to put the landing gear on. So today's going to be gonna get the fuselage back up on the bench and put the landing gear on it. Because I need to get the landing gear lined up before I make the brackets for the wing struts, and then so I'll get the landing gear mounted on it. Put in the brackets for the wing struts, and then it's going to be time to put the wing struts on. So I want to have all this done so that Saturday, got another day off Saturday. So Saturday is going to be the day. It looks like the weather's going to be good enough to do it. We'll be videoing outside with the plane upside down on a table, putting the wings on. So I'm hoping everything's going to go well. So it's going to be a real busy Saturday. Today I've got a lot of stuff to do in the afternoon. So it's just going to be a couple little things I'm going to work on to try to get set up, just so that I've got the gear on. So as long as I've got the landing gear on, that's the vast majority of the stuff that's got to get taken care of today. And the front hinge bracket for the landing gear is the difficult piece to make because of the angle that this. Let me see if I can get this thing set up so that you know what I'm talking about, because this is the leading. All right, there we go. All right, this is the leading edge. So this it's I don't even know what angle it is. It's probably about 30 degrees. I've got to have the I made a piece just to see what I was going to have to do, and this is for the opposite side. So let me grab the opposite side. They've got to be mirrored. All right. So this. Well, that was wrong. I had it right the first time. Alright, so this is going to have to go on, and I still have a little bit of grinding to do on this. I've got it close. It's got to, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this. I've got to have it cut with it's going to be an elongated groove in here, because it's got to slide up through this little gap right here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to try to figure this one out, because this is going to be a tough one. This side's going to be the easy side to take care of. So it's going to be a lot of finagling to get this in place. So what I'll do is I'll get everything relatively set up, and I'll just bring it back little sections at a time, just to show you how I'm progressing with this one, because it's, like I said, it's not a lot of stuff to do today, but it's a complicated little piece to make. So I'll give you guys a chance to go up, get a cup of coffee, donut, whatever you want, and then sit back and enjoy the show. All right, I'm back. I got the hinges made. The hinge points. Alright, what I've got, let's go ahead and show you real quick. Alright, the one for the trailing edge is real easy. I haven't cut these to final length. I want to get everything lined up properly on the fuse, and where the bolts are going to go through, they're going to attach to the fuselage, before I go ahead and cut them to final length. So anyway, here's the one for the rear mount on the fuse is easy. It's just some U-channel with a bolt or a hole drilled through it and angled. Now, let me just show you real quick. I get the right one, because I got them marked for left and right. All right. Here's the rear part, and that's where this is just going to go ahead and slide on. Sorry about that. It's just going to go ahead and slide on, and I've got a little 3/16 pin just to hold it in place, just to show you. All right, so this is the rear. Here's the rear hinge. Now the front one was that goofy one I was telling you about. You start off where it's exactly the same as the rear. Just go ahead and set it up in the drill press, drill the hole through it around the edges. What you have to do to make room for this diagonal going across, right here, for this diagonal going across, is you've got to cut a channel in it. And so what this is going to do is this is going to pop down over the top like this. And then when you go ahead and put the pin through it, I got to run up to the hardware store to get some bolts. That's why I've got a pin and a bolt. Alright, so now that spans over the diagonal. It can sweep up. So that's what it looks like on the outside. So we still have good strength to it. And here's what it looks like on the inside. Should I put it like that? There we go. So on the inside. So I'm very confident there shouldn't be a problem with this. If I notice if I've got any question for the front, I'll get some thin wall mild steel channel or box, just grind it down and just make one just for the front, because I'm not concerned about the back. That's pretty rock solid. So I don't know what time it is yet. I think I got to cut out of here real soon. But what I will do is I'll bring you back, probably make a speedy up video of when I'm mounting these things on the fuselage, just so you can kind of sort of see how I'm going about doing it. With the finalization of the landing gear and the muffler, I mounted the I did mount the wheels, mount the axles, mount the landing gear. I'll get it right on the plane. It fits. There's just a small little issue. I haven't decided if I care to reattack it again. It's not going to affect the landing gear. It's just that the two halves where they meet up in the middle, they're a little bit off, and it's bothering me greatly. I don't know if I want to cut one of the landing gear frames just to straighten that little piece out, or just fly it. Had a couple friends stop by this morning and they said just fly it, so I'm probably just going to fly it, but I haven't decided yet. Anyway, what I needed to work on today is I've got to get ready to mount the wings. I've got to have hard points, so I've got to put hard points in. So when I mount the new root rib, or the mating rib that's going to be on the side of the plane, because I'm making it out of plywood now, I want a hard point where the wing bolts are going to come through. So because this side, I think I recalled in an earlier video, I think this side was 2.6 or 2.7 inches off of being 90 degrees, which is where it should be. And this side over here, I think was 5.5 plus degrees off of being vertical. So what I have to do is the hard points, I've got to cut those into the hard points, because I considered, let me take you off the stand, because I know it's what you want. Alright. The only other option I had, and I thought about it this morning, talked to a couple friends, one of them stopped, the one that stopped by. I can cut this. I can cut this whole seam up here and shim this out, and it would take care of some of the problems, but everything that I'm going to be cutting is all this, and I don't want to have to go back through this joint again, because the joint was not fun to make sure it got, and it's close to being lined up. It's not perfect, but it's going to work. I don't want to have to cut that apart again, and I don't want to have to mess with any of this that I've already repaired, because I'd have to cut this whole mounting block out. So I think I'm just gonna, you know, take the time and do it. This one has already been cut, shaved, and epoxied into place, and it is. I mean, the epoxy's, it's past the tacky stage now. So so where it's kind of at, I'm going to show you. I'm going to have a little bit more to do on it to get it lined up, because here's my rear mark. Here's the front mark, and you can see it actually meets the proper angle. So this one's ready. I'm putting the back one in, and the back one, yeah, it must have been one of these. Alright, and the back one, when everything lined up, it lined up being close. So what I'm going to have to do is measure vertical. This way, horizontally, it was so close. I'm just going to put a piece of I don't know, maybe 16th inch plywood on it, and I think that's going to stand off and be just where it needs to be. So I've just got to worry about the vertical. So I'm going to get that ready to go. I'd like to film some of this, record some of it. It's just a long and tedious process, and I got to figure out how I can set this camera up and do a high speed speedy up video, which I plan on doing. I haven't decided how I want to address that situation. So you know what, I'm just going to make the video. Hang on tight, here we go. All right, that was more than interesting. You can almost see sweat on my forehead. That was unfortunately the wrong way to do that. What I should have done, let me loosen up the little gimbally thing here. I should never have glued that into place. I should have kept fudging with it. It's kind of a pain in the butt to work with hot glue. I had to get it so that it continued the angle of the mount for the rib to mount right here. Now you look down, it's straight, it's accurate. It just took a long time. That was probably, I mean, I sped up the video. It was probably 20 minutes just to get this one to the angle I wanted it to. I should have taken more time to keep fudging with it. I'll fudge more with the other side. But this is pretty much done. I can pop these little caps off. And now I'll be able to use balsa blocks on the tail, because I'm going to use balsa back here, a nice piece of balsa, square stock, build it up. Same thing here, it's going to be the big piece up in the middle, a balsa block here, sand it down, then I'll be able to glue this on. I haven't gotten done doing these yet. I still have to cut the other one out. So once the other one gets cut out, I've got the holes pretty much lined up to where I need to drill out for this, for the tubes coming through. You know, drill them small and work them out bigger, so they're just right. So, all right, because right now I'm not gluing this into place by any means yet. But I have to start. I'll get some balsa. I think what I'm probably gonna do, I'm trying to figure out the sanest way to do this. So I only do it once. So I'll make another one of these. I don't know if I showed yet me cutting the first one out. It's not terribly important. It's pretty easy to do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to leave this one rough like it is. You can probably see. You might be able to see it. I've got the little lines I've got to sand down to. So what I'm going to do, I may just do it. I may just put a couple little dabs of thin CA on the inside of each one. I'll layer another one on top of it. That's what I'm going to do. I'll layer it on top of the other one, cut it out, sand it down to this line all the way across, split them apart. And I'll go ahead and I'll drill these while they're connected together, so that way if one's made wrong, they're both made wrong. So I'll do that, and then I'll bring it back on. So sorry, I still dislike that light, that right there, because I haven't gotten millions of dollars from pledge funds, which I don't have. I'll bring it back in when I got these all cut up, and I'll start putting in some balsa blocks. I'm just going to do one side at a time. I want to have this done, pretty much finished out, and then I'll turn the whole plane around and start the other side. So I figure if you at least see one side, you'll kind of know what I'm doing on the other side. So I'll bring it right back. Hang on. All right, welcome back. It's about 11:30, so I've spent, I don't know, probably 2 hours just getting the first wing, the wing mount taken care of with the proper, because it's got two different angles that I'm fighting. The way the guy glued it in the first time, that is the primary problem I'm having. But the wing mount, the fuselage tapers towards the back, and because the wing is, you know, 90 degrees to the spars, it's gonna stand off. So as the fuselage curves back, the wing looks like it's gonna be. It looks like when you look at it and you're referencing it, your brain tells you that the root rib is curving away from the fuse, but it's really not. It's straight. It's the fuselage that curves. So I'm gonna take off the stand, and just to show you how everything looks, when I glue everything together, that's going to be key, is to make sure that I've got everything rock solid with the proper angles and everything. So nothing, if it does get glued, it'll get glued later on this afternoon, if it does. What I want to do is I want to fill the spots with balsa that I want to fill with balsa, and then I'll sand everything down. But I've got to make sure that when I'm sanding, everything is accurate, because once you glue it on there, the only way to take it apart is to destroy it, and I don't want to do that. So let me take you off the stand. And kind of sort of show you what I've got. Alright, I got the level up on top, and it's not to show you whether it's level, it's to show you that I'm at 90 degrees. And this is going to be, trying to find my little one. And it's not 100% yet, but it's really close. See, if you look, there's just a little teeny bit of light there. So if I flex this down, just rotate it in my hand just a little teeny bit, so I've got some room to play with on that one, and that's fine. Because even if it was like this, that's not going to affect the plane. You know, I can make things work. All right. The other issue was this part here. It apparently there was the way this thing was glued together, it was really shoddy. So what I want to do is I want to get the part of the root rib parallel, and it drops down still a little bit too much in the back, so I need to raise this up a little bit. I don't want to cut this wood. What I want to do is I want to come into here and modify this. So what I'll probably do is anything that I remove from the top, I will go ahead, there's a whole bunch of something stuck there, and I'll throw up a little bit of a shim from the bottom, because I am going to fill this spot with a piece of balsa, just to stiffen this whole joint here, because this one you can see it's got a, hopefully you can see it, there you go. This one here has a crack in it, so when this is going to be attachment point, so this will have another piece of ply glued in there. I'm going to come back and do the same thing back here, then I'll re-drill the hole back through it again for the wires, for the servos. So that's why I don't have anything here. This is just going to be balsa back here. On the inside it's going to be plywood, and this will be a balsa fill back here, balsa in this zone in here, and then up here in the front it's going to be all balsa too. So that way it's that way it's got really good solid structure to it. In the points where the screws or the bolts are going to go through, that's plywood. So that's the way I want it. So anyway, and just let me show you from the back here and see if you can see where it kind of looks like it's actually curving in towards the wood now. Let me get my little straight bar, and let's take a look and see if it is curving in, which is okay, because it's plywood that, yeah, it does. It looks like it's a plywood that curves a little bit. But anyway, so that's what you're looking at, and you don't really see it too much here. That's the problem, is you're not looking in 3D. All right, so yeah, so I need to address this. This has got to come up probably about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch. So I'll have to rise that up on the inside and make adjustments to it. That's kind of the way I think I want to do it, and I'll reinforce it from the inside. I'll make sure that when it's back together it's strong. I mean, this is all glued to the plywood anyway. What I'll do is I'll come in, put a little bit of filler on the bottom of this, and go ahead and just put in like a little fillet of reinforced epoxy in this little bit of groove, so that way this is still going to remain structural to the bottom piece. So anything that's taken out of the top up here or ground up, it'll be reinforced down in here. I mean, it's kind of a crazy way to do it, but when you get to the point where you don't really have too much of a choice, that's what you got to go through. And this may have just slid down. I can raise this up a little bit because I think the hot glue that I use in here just to temporarily hold everything in place, I think it allowed the plywood to slide down. So anyway, this is giving me a really good starting point. You know, I can slide the rods out. I want to have this set up so that I can slide these things in and out whenever I want to. So that's why I want a nice tight snug fitting here, because this will end up sliding in about that far, and then I'm going to have about that much aluminum sticking out, and that way this is going to be really strong right here, because I'm going from the inside plywood through the 1/4 inch plywood all the way through. So 1/4 inch plywood, 1/8 inch, 3/16 plywood, and then through some 1/8 inch plywood. So it's going to be really strong, and that's what I'm looking for. So anyway, that's about it for this part. I'm going to go ahead and switch it around and start working on the other side. So far it's going a little easier than I thought it was, which is good, because most things with this plane haven't been going easy at all. So I'll bring it back in when the other side's ready to show. Be right back.